John, what was/is your most irrational parenting fear, and are there steps to overcome such fear? The floor is yours whenever you're ready, good sir.
Not to blame my parents at all, but to almost embrace them so that I could understand the difficulty that they went through. Losing that child was irreplaceable, and they would not have it again. So all of our lives got immediately smaller. All of the things that come with kind of cutting the umbilical cord and allowing your children to expand into the world, those were not available to us. We were kept close to the house, so that now we have one child, my wife and I, and oddly enough, he's 17 years old, and at the age of 15, he told us that he wanted to become a pilot. Well, you can imagine the chagrin of parents saying, we're going to send you up in a little tube in the air. But I also remember that growing up, I said, I will not make my child's life small. My son, I will cut that umbilical cord every day of my life if I have to, and keep cutting it and keep cutting it and keep cutting it until he is free to fly to the sun. Irrational fear, unattended, repeats itself and carries on generation after generation. Confronted once, it dissipates.
Not enough. Do you feel like being able to advocate on behalf of people with epilepsy during that time allowed the families to learn more about epilepsy and the public in general? Sure.
But I'm dedicated to it, and it's been a 20-year commitment that I've had. But we've had a lot of success, and we've been able to get the word that it's not something that you need to be afraid of, and parents don't need to think that they've had their last full night of sleep again.
I would say that my most irrational parenting fear is that one or more, I have 4 children, of my children will resent me for things that I can't control or things that I can't see happening. But the worry sneaks in all the time that everything that I do, every choice I make throughout the day, every choice that goes with parenting and doesn't go with parenting, it's going to shape their view of me as a mom. And I have a close friend that did not decide to have children. And when I asked her very, very sincerely why, she said it was because she was afraid she was going to mess up her kids. And if we all really felt that, none of us would be parents, because I came from an incredibly dysfunctional family background. And if I would have let that dictate who I was going to be as a parent, I would have never had kids. And I have 4 kids ranging from 6th grade to a junior in college. And I think that some of them would think that I have not done the best job, but others would think that I'm doing all right. So I don't know. See, that mom guilt just kicks in all the time.
How important is it to find someone who speaks your language so that you don't have to spend your entire life translating your soul to other people?
We decided very early on that because we both came from very dysfunctional backgrounds, that we were going to stop and make our future different.
My thing is, I think about outliving my kids. If I outlive my kids, I'm not a happy camper. But I don't remember my parents yelling at us, because we were taught by example. So I give my kids a lot of freedom, and I'm known as the fun parent, because I let them make their own mistakes. Now, if I see them doing something dangerous, I stop them and say, no, that's too dangerous. That could be hurt. That can hurt you. But I'm big on the five love languages. So I want to show my wife love, and I want her to show me love. So I'm a touch guy. So when I'm sitting down and my wife walks behind me, I want her just to touch me, just running her hands across my shoulders.
John, Kelly, in your opinion, does the dreamer outlive his or her dream, or does the dream live on long after death?
I believe 100% that the dream lives on long after death. It doesn't matter how small or how inconsequential the dream is, it'll continue to manifest itself through, well, in my case, I'm hoping my posterity, and oftentimes like art. A huge dream for me is that in terms of animals, that someday I won't go to bed worried and sick and hurt inside because of injustice towards animals. And by just being an advocate or expressing, or in my case, expressing my love and devotion to animals to my kids, I know that it has been heard and it is going to live on. And my oldest daughter is studying zoology and wants to work with big animals. And more specifically, she wants to work with behavioral issues with big animals. And so here I am allowing my dream to live through her and on about. So yes, I truly believe that that dreams go on after death. And I have to believe that, or else I think everybody has to believe that, or else what are we doing?
Are Cherokee Pasha, Dakota, and Jewel still with us?
No, they are all passed. They were some of my first animals. My first real horse when I was an adult was Cherokee Pasha, and then Dakota was my first dog that I purchased on my own.
I wonder how many farmers it took to clear that. It would have taken probably 20 farmers a whole week to clear 40 acres. So they had a dream to live back, and dreaming is why this country is what it is. In the USA, Hoyce and the founding fighters, they didn't know the USA was going to be on every week on ESPN. So the dream will far outlive the dreamer, no doubt about it.
Imagination is the pictures in your mind of who you are and what you're supposed to be. Your imagination is a 24/7 assessment of who you are. And it's constantly updating and updating. The other side of your brain is the rational side. That's the logical side. If I've been a success at any point in my life, it's because I only listen to my imagination. I don't listen to my rational mind. It has always lied to me. It is the most important part because everything begins with a good idea. What you imagine has value. I'll say it again. What you imagine has value. That's probably the most important thing you can take with you for the rest of your life. For me, it's always been listening to it, no matter what it was. When I was a little kid and you brought it up when I was 3 years old, and I would say, well, I am an actor, so that's what I'm supposed to be. And I would have my hands on my hips and I'd be pointing to the little black and white TV in the corner of the room. But I knew in my mind, the pictures were there, that I was supposed to be an actor. And when you see yourself succeeding, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I'll say that again. What you imagine is what you are supposed to be doing. And I think that's the most important message that a child, an adult, can have when they're trying to grab hold of their life and recircle the wagons. What does your imagination tell you?
In first place, and advancing to round number 3 of Toucan Celebrity Tournament is John O'Hurley!
Oh. Edging out Matt Hughes by 2 single vote is the one and only Kelly Packard. Kelly Packard is on to round 3.